I'd like to talk a little bit about a restoration I did on some Cerwin Vega speakers. We got them right here, the V-34. Price list here. We'll go through what I did and show some pictures of before. You can see some of them here. I started out a couple years ago. I found a couple of loose woofers, the 158 EM. I've got them, a little spec sheet on them here. I've kept a lot of the Cerwin Vega literature from the 70s. I'm glad I did. It's kind of fun to go through that, and it really helped me a lot when I started this project. We'll go through some of the things I did and some of the mysteries I found. When I first started this, I found a couple of videos from Regular Guy Audio on YouTube, and he had a couple of V-34s he's working on, and I studied them very, very closely. And I got to looking at mine, and I had my woofers came back from reconing, and I had them in a box, and I was using a tape measure, and I thought, this is not working out here. It's not coming out. These woofers are going to bang into the back panel. So I placed a comment on Regular Guy Audio's video, and I said, hey, can you confirm these dimensions? You know, and this guy doesn't know me, but he dropped what he was doing, put up a video, and went through all the dimensions. I thought, that's great. I mean, this guy really helped me out, and we need more guys like that in this hobby. He was very helpful, and I appreciate his help a lot. So we're going to go across here and look at these. Here's the finished product. Got some nice red grow cloth. These are reproduction I found. There's a guy, he's on eBay. He's got them for just about every speaker manufacturer. Got brand new corners on. I got them from Parts Express. They were the exact match from the original, which was nice. I took the handles apart and painted those, and it's got new rubber feet on there. And well, what do you say we take the grill off and we'll look at the front? There's the inside. Like I said, I had these woofers a couple years ago. I bought them from a guy on Craigslist. And I've worked with Simply Speakers out of Florida. They're a great company, but for some reason they didn't have this particular parts for this woofer, so they suggested I go to Speaker Repair Pros in California, and they did a beautiful job. Everything's brand new. Everything from the cast iron basket out is all brand new. Got the stiff cone. The horn I got from Simply Speakers. It's a perfect match. The original V-34 horn came out here, but those are impossible. They're not an off-the-shelf item anymore, and I did the best I could to find something as close as I could. I kept the idea of the screen. Originally they were stapled on here. Regular Guy Audio talks about thousands of staples. I didn't want to do that, so I mounted it in the grill cover that I made, and I was worried about rattling, so I made two pieces here sandwiched with a bead of silicone, so they're not going to rattle. At least we got the protection on there. One thing I gotta mention is the cabinets are extremely solid, heavy. The people who designed these at Cerwin Vega and the people who built them on the factory line, they'd probably be pretty proud to know that they're still in use and still solid after 45 years in service, and they've been banged around and drug around. I'm sure they've got some stories to tell. As you can see, I kept with the original idea from Vega here. I got the two parallel inputs. Takes a 1/4-inch jack. That makes it nice. One thing I forgot to show you when I was had the front off is the original V-34 had two piezo's hanging down in front. I have the piezo's, but I've got plenty of high end with those horns, and I really don't think I need these. They'd be easy to hang in the front there and just wire off the horn. But for now, I'm just going to leave them off. One of the mysteries here, when I got these, there was a huge gap around this back panel, and I couldn't figure out why in the world they would do it that way. The only thing I can think of is these came with an option of either a sprayed fiberglass finish or carpeting. Now, if you're going to have carpeting, you're going to need clearance to get that carpeting wrapped around. So that's what I'm thinking was the original idea. They made it so you could do either or, and you had to have clearance to get that carpeting around here and around here for it to fit. So what I did is I added a 7/16 inch strip on two sides here to get it to fit tighter. I'll take this back off and we'll show you the inside. One more thing on the construction of these things, it was solid 3/4 inch plywood back when you could buy 3/4 inch plywood. They didn't skimp on this structure here. Like I told you, I had the woofers, and then recently I found these cabinets. They were empty and they were 9 hours away, and I didn't know how I was going to get them, but my brother and my nephew did a Pony Express and got them right up here to me, so that was great. But as you can see, this is what I was talking about, that I had a question for Regular Guy Audio, and he helped me out with it. This would have hit the back end. And I think one of the reasons was when I had them reconed, I noticed there was a big, heavy standoff gasket in the front. And maybe that was a little heavier than the original. But I just routed out a 5/16 area here to give it a little breathing room. I think it would have been real close, or it would have been all right, but I just wanted to give it a little. I put a little routing here for the mid-range horn. I added a inline fuse, 3/4 amp for the horn, just to play it safe. I did have them cranked up in the house, and the fuse held fine. So now, as far as the dampening material, that was a guess on my part. I've got 2 different books on speaker building. I've got extensive notes from Pat Snyder from Speaker Lab, who I highly respect, and the Vegas that I've opened up over the years, and every single one of them contradicted each other. Well, these aren't really a box speaker, so I just got some polyester batting, and I covered all the surfaces except for the duct. And it sounds fine. Everything seems to be fine, so I think it's going to be okay. The four screws, that must have been enough for everybody, but it was not enough for me, so I added extra screws here. That woofer weighs like 28 pounds, so that's a lot of weight. I wanted to point out on these jacks here, I was trying to figure out which ones to buy. I checked with Switchcraft, and they said, well, we got a lot of different types here, and so I found an old image of a Cerwin Vega crossover, and I sent it to Switchcraft, and they said, oh, that's our number 11. So I got a couple of those. I had my friend Tom solder those in parallel for me. The crossover, that was the toughest part. There's people that have generic crossovers, but I couldn't find anything that would come close. There's speaker parts companies, and none of them that I found would design and build one, and I'm sure if they did, it'd be super expensive. But I did stumble onto these. They were, believe it or not, on Amazon. And it's got everything I need. It's 2-way. And in the information from Vega, it showed that you could cross it over at 500 to 1,000. Well, this crosses over at 1,200, and it's got a 12 dB slope, which in my mind is perfect. and they sound great. It works fine. I think I paid 35 bucks a piece for them. So I kind of lucked out there. If there's probably the toughest part about a restoration is that crossover, finding the right one. As you can see, that is one serious woofer. That's heavy duty, and the thing that got me excited when I found them was that North Hollywood. That's one of the, I think that is the original location of Cerwin Vega, and that meant a lot to me to have that. All right, we're downstairs in my room here. I want to show you my original 1975 Cerwin Vega R26. I've had these things, I bought them brand new. Here's the receipt, 1975. Can't believe I kept all that, but I've had the, in the early 80s, I sent woofers into Cerwin Vega, and they put new surrounds on. They lasted over 30 years, and 2 years ago, they were rotted off again. So I got the kit from Simply Speakers, and I did it myself, and it was really all right. It was easy. I'd recommend everybody try it. I had to make, of course, new grill cloths, but my wife helped me with that. And they've been a great speaker. I still pound them every weekend. I enjoy them. I love them. They sound great. You like this 1977 Rolling Stone ad. Up here, I want to show you, I've got a DB10, and if you find these, try to pick them up. And most of the time, you're not going to have the AC adapter to them. Okay, no big deal. Buy it anyway, because my friend Eckhart told me that AC adapter is nothing more than a doorbell transformer, doorbell transformer. Going down to Menards, got one. This worked great for many years. I'll show you this quick. I still have one left. Those are kind of cool, vintage, but like I say, I really love these Vegas. They sound beautiful, and I've enjoyed them since 1975, and I'm going to keep enjoying them until I reach the finish line. My Speaker Lab K-horns. I've been dreaming about building these for over 35 years. After I retired, that was my first project. They're an exact duplicate of the Klipschorn. There's 5 sheets of plywood there. If you want to see photos, Case will put a little link on there for you, and you can take a look. They were quite a project. It took me, I figured, 70 hours. I'd like to have you take a look at the photos, see what you think. They're a great speaker. I've managed to save a lot of old Cerwin Vega literature from the 70s. This is great stuff. A lot of great old photos. This book is really, really interesting. It's got a lot of great information on setups. There's the V-30, which is the same cabinet, identical to the 34, just different components. A lot of great ideas. It's a good book to have. A lot of old speaker. That's watt stacks. There's a good picture of watt stacks. Here's a nice story about the earthquake sound system. You've read about that for the movie. This was in all the stereo stores. It's got the full list of Vega products. There's my 26s. These are beautiful power amps. There's some V30s with a mixing board. I heard those at the store in Chicago where I bought my speakers. Those things, they were blowing off stacks of paper. These 217R were, at the time, I thought they were the most beautiful speaker I'd ever heard. 15-inch woofer. And I think those are probably very rare. If you've got a set of them, you're a lucky man. The reason I'm showing you all this stuff is if there's anybody out there that needs information or specs or something that I've got, I'll get it to you. The sound system, that's where I bought my 26s. That guy, Dennis, was down there. He was the sharpest guy I ever found in hi-fi. And here's an old, real old Cerwin Vega brochure with all their stuff on it. That came with the speakers. There's some nice glossies of those amps. 211R. The towers. Like I say, all the specs are here if any of you guys need them. There's the digital series. Now I've got a lot of this PA stuff. If guys, girls, whoever needs stuff, a lot of specs in there. L36. I used to write a letter to Cerwin Vega and say, hey, send me some information, and they were more than happy to send the stuff. So keep that in mind, everybody. If you need some specs or something, if I can help you out, I will. All right, we're back out in front to end this up. I want to just try to have everybody think about restoring a set of speakers. It's not hard to do. You don't have to re-veneer a cabinet. You can do like I did on those earlier pictures and cut the bad stuff off, patch them up, and paint them up. They look great. Don't worry about the colors. Paint them any color you want. If anybody's looking for an authentic restoration, I've got the woofer mounting bolts. I couldn't use them. The threads are all screwed up. If you wanted to try and chase the threads and use them, I got them if you need them. As far as outlets for repair, Simply Speakers has been very helpful. They're very knowledgeable. Speaker Repair Pros did a beautiful job on the reconing, and just last night I stumbled on a new place, Montebello Speaker Repair Center in California. I talked to the guy on the phone, and he sounds like he's very, very knowledgeable, especially on Cerwin Vega. And so there's a lot of places out there you can get the stuff fixed, you can get parts, and you can have a lot of fun and get yourself a nice set of speakers and see if you can keep them living. So thanks everybody, and good luck. Oh, and one last thank you to Regular Guy Audio. I really appreciate the help, man, and hang in there and keep going.